Hello, hello. Today we'll be continuing from where we left off on our life beginnings and always. Pretty sure we're up to this part because the intro for step 3 was just way too long. Not gonna lie. So yeah, I think we only did hang. Yeah, I think we only did hang actually. So yeah, we'll be continuing with those four. This four. I'll be only playing up to. Please load. Oh, thank God. I'll be playing from only up to the end of step 4, and so yeah, and then stop streaming. So yeah. Oh jeez, where are my errands? Yes, let me just have a cup of water. Ugh. Okay, errands. Let's just save here. Okay, save here. Yep. Yes. From the moment you woke up, you knew that today was going to be busier than usual. There was a list of errands that needed to be finished before the day was done. First up was visiting one of the biggest farmers market in the area. It was only open 2 weekends a month during certain parts of the year. Oh wow. Huh. It was rare that you and your family were able to attend, so your mums liked to make the most out of every minute of it. And you realized it was not just them feeling that way when you heard a whistle from your left side. Wow, this is a swanky show. Vegetables have never seemed so highbrow. What does that mean? Fresh? High quality? Quality? Seriously, they don't mess around with their products.
Isn't that great?
Isn't it exciting? Liz crossed her arms. You could tell she was amused. We couldn't have picked a more perfect trip. It's been too long since we've had a true family outing. Her teasing tone said more than she actually did. Your next door neighbors had joined you this day, and that's what made it a true family outing. The 3 parents laughed approvingly. Out of the corner of your eyes, you caught Cove looking at you, sympathetically. Some things never changed, and some jokes never died. You'd long accepted that. Yeah. You smiled, trying to imagine how many stores were set up. You were curious what hidden gems you were waiting for you to discover among them. Well, I'm ready to get started. I've got plenty of dishes in mind I've got plenty of dishes in mind I could use ingredients for. Oh my lord. Phrasing. Before your mums responded to that, they glanced at each other and smiled. Yes, that is a very good idea. Cliff, this place is much larger than it seems. It's difficult to visit each part in a single day.
I got it.
I'm sure we can make a decent dent together at least. Actually, since there are so many of us this time, we could take different sides of the market.
Sounds good.
Divide and conquer, eh? That sounds brilliant. Everyone watched your mum surprised. No one had considered that's an option, but your mum flashed the group a dazzling smile, continuing with the thought. Though, it's a little unfair that there are 4 Briggs family members and only 2 Holdens here, so I'll go with you boys to even out the odds.
Okay.
That's fine with me. Cliff scratched the back of his neck and slowly met Cove's stare. They both seemed unconvinced but weren't sure what to say about it. Unconvinced? Seems like a solid plan. Don't worry, we'll be apart for only a few hours, and then we'll have something to talk about at the end of it. Father and son ultimately nodded. This wasn't an argument they were going to win. Alright. I don't get the point, but I also don't mind spending the first part of the trip with Airi and Ma. Ma clapped her hands together at that. Wonderful. Are the teams ready to go? Yeah. Save again. Noticing that you were quiet, Ma hooked her arm around you in a little side hug. You smiled softly.
Thank you.
Thank you, Airi. Taking the lead, Mum walked over to Cove and Cliff, who were still eyeing her confusedly.
Let's go.
Come on, boys, we're heading out. Sure. Okay. Cove looked at you softly, and felt himself pulled forward, stopping in front of you. His expression flickered for a moment, hesitant.
Bye.
Bye. Suddenly he twitched slightly, his whole body getting stiff. Oh, he's quite attached to the MC, I see. He jerked his gaze back at your mum, and you realized that she had grabbed the hem of his shirt. She gave it a small tug before letting go. No. Time's a wasting, Cove, and I've known you long enough to be aware that you're one to linger. If I don't stop you now, you'll only drag your feet on parting ways more. The two of you can survive one morning apart, probably. We have important shopping to do now. Oh my god. Oh, this is too amusing. Cove felt was a truly obscene thing to say. His face burned red, but that was ignored by him. He spoke with an unimpressed roll of the eyes.
Seriously?
You don't need to literally pull me away from Airi. I'm not that clingy. No, I think you're quite clingy, I must say. Mum snickered with a shake of her head. Cove's eyebrows raised over the reaction, and he turned to Ma. She wouldn't meet his eyes, and she whistled innocently. Oh, they're amused, alright. Liz smirked ear to ear, and Cove whipped his head towards his dad. Mr. Holden couldn't offer anything more than an apologetic shrug. It was only then that it dawned on Cove that everyone did think that he was that needy. Yeah, not gonna lie. Finally, he dared to face you with wide pleading eyes. I have no clue what to react to that, but okay. Yep. You spoke the very matter of fact and fixed a stern gaze on the group. Uh-huh. Cove meanwhile beamed at having your support. Oh, hello. Hello, evil King Frog. Yep. Hello. Good to see you. How's your day? Can you hear me well enough? Is the music too loud, or? Without thinking, Cove took another step forward. How am I today? I think I'm fine. lately, I started playing Cookie Run Kingdom. Yeah, I'm good. I started playing Cookie Run Kingdom a few days ago, and now I am quite obsessed with another gacha game. With another gacha game. It's not just Genshin now. It's Cookie Run Kingdom as well. So yeah. Do you play Cookie Run Kingdom? I think it's a swell game. It's very cute. You got cute little cookies. Ah, okay. Okay, sound is good. Okay, good then. I didn't change it. Without thinking, Cove took another step forward, feeling drawn to you. Nah, mate, I think you are quite clingy. Also, again, Mum grabbed the back of his shirt. She tried suppressing her laughter, but a few chuckles escaped. Oh, you just slipped and fell down. Oh no. Oh, your back is hurt now? Oh. Ooh. I hope you're fine now. Or maybe not, because it says now. Your sentence says now rather than it's past tense, so, I hope your back gets better soon. Sometime. Maybe lie down on a bed on your bed or something. Never run while washing a bike? Listen for me today, it's never run while wash bike. You were washing a bike and running? Run while washing a bike. Were you running too fast while washing the bike because the ground was already quite slippery due to water and soap? I'm assuming that's what happened. Actions speak louder than words. Indeed, mother, indeed. Cove's mouth twisted as he struggled to come up with something to say in his defense. He was nearly embarrassed all over again. Ah, so that's what happened. Oof, at least I was right. Yeah, well, so what? That admission that Liz, your mum's, and his dad bursting in laughter. Cove grimaced and walked several steps from the group before stopping. He clearly wanted to move on, so much that he was physically moving away. You smiled softly. Softly? Do I smell softly? No, I don't think I do. You smiled softly and waved goodbye. When he noticed Cove's mouth pulled into a bent smile of his own, and he seemed to feel better a bit.
See you later.
See you in a few hours. Take care of yourselves. At that, Mum picked a direction and set out into the market with Mr. Holden and Cove following behind her. Oh, I've had chicken rice. I've had dinner. Had chicken rice. It was really good. Grinning, Ma sent them off with a big wave. Liz gave a daintier goodbye wave herself. Man, my tongue is starting to get tied up again. Let's go with this one. It wasn't what you'd imagine, but that didn't matter. There was a whole market to explore, and you couldn't wait to find some good stuff. When they were gone, yeah, chicken rice, really good, especially with the chili sauce and that other sauce, like the salty sauce, the saltier sauce, and then oh, it's really good with some with cucumbers and tomato as well. So yeah, chicken was well cooked as well. So yeah. When they were gone, Ma cheerfully turned towards you and Liz. She put her hands on her hips. Do you think there'll be any nice ginger around here? We'll have to find out. You nodded in agreement. Keen to truly get the trip going, Ma led you both into the busy market. Some time passed browsing. There were only a few stalls you stopped at. You had fun chatting and laughing, pointing out various things to Ma and Liz, and vice versa. Oh, that's nice. Family bonding moment time. At one point, Ma stopped suddenly. She put a hand on her belly and gave a half-hearted smile. I think I should have used the bathroom before we left home, like the two of you responsibly did. Just need to pee? Yes, Liz. I have to visit the ladies' room now. Should we wait here? Ma craned forward as she struggled to pinpoint the direction she needed to go. She gently brushed your comment away. There's no need to worry about me for this, or waste time standing around. Keep on shopping. Though, actually, I might need help finding my way. Can you please come, Lizzie? You and your sister shared a look over that. Why do that of all things?
Hey.
Ma, if anyone should go anywhere on their own, shouldn't it be you? You're the one needing a detour and you're the parent here. Ma giggled, unfazed by the resistance. Liz, meanwhile, tipped the brow of her hat up, watching Ma skeptically. Soon enough, Airi will have to handle doing these kinds of errands on her own. This makes good practice. Ah, that's right. The MC is already at the cusp of adulthood. 18 years old. What? You what, mate? Ma hooked an arm around Liz and pulled her along.
Have fun.
Have fun. We'll find each other again later. Excuse me. I'd be stunned if that happened. If that suddenly happened. Pardon. You watched, dumbfounded, as they wadded into the crowd. They were out of sight within moments, and what started as a group outing rapidly became you, entirely on your own. Oof. You thought, screw them, nah. If this happened to me, I just wouldn't know what to think. You still couldn't believe Ma just did that. There wasn't a single doubt in your mind that she had some ulterior moves. But for now, you had to figure out what to do next. Resigned to your fate, you picked up where you left off browsing the stalls. One hooked your attention. While most stalls were selling various garden-grown foods, this one had an array of homemade fudge. Ooh, fudge. Tasty. There were even vegan versions of every option. Nice. You sidestepped past a few other people and got yourself right in front of the counter for a better look. There was a widespread, dozens and dozens of delicately cut squares of decadence. The owner smiled and approached you to explain their shop. Oh god. Oh my god. The fudge is sold in boxes of 4 pieces. They either can be all the same, or different, or any mix you like. Are you looking to buy any today? Yep. For everyone! Sharing is caring. Our fudge. It's our fudge, guys. The whole selection was too good not to share. Here. Your mind was already filling with thoughts of sinking your teeth into the delicious fudge. There was no walking away empty-handed now. Yeah, I could use some fudge. I'm glad you came to the right place then. For yourself, you picked... Ooh. I'ma save milk chocolate and red velvet. Oh, like the K-pop. No, not the K-pop band. Wait, didn't I already pick? Caramel swirl, cookies and cream. Toffee, maple walnut. Did I already pick white chocolate? It's white chocolate again. Is this all? Oh, okay. Save again. The shop owner carefully put your order together. Everyone else was definitely going to be happy when you regrouped later. You paid and there was no stopping the large You paid and there was no stopping the large grin going all across your face. Pivoting on your heels. Oh my god. Pivoting on your heels, you walked your way back to the center of the path. You pondered for a moment what you should do for now. None of the stores were catching your eye. Yeah, that much food. Quite a lot of fudge, eh? What did grab your attention, however, was a head of familiar sea foam hair sticking out from the crowd. You knew instantly it was Cove. Yeah, it's not hard to recognize that hair. Yeah. I get hungry every time I watch one of those cooking videos. I recently watched this, I think it's like this Japanese YouTuber who like makes bento lunch boxes for her husband. Like she cooks. Pardon, why do I keep burping? Yeah, I started watching this Japanese YouTuber who cooks like bento lunch boxes for her husband like every day except for maybe I think Sunday perhaps, but I'm not sure. It's like and oh god, the food looks really good. I'm like, I get really hungry. I'm like, oh, I want that for lunch, but I don't think I'd be used to it because it really does look like there's quite a lot of stuff in there with how it's packed and everything. And it looks really pretty too, like damn, that presentation. What did grab your attention, however, was a head of familiar sea foam hair sticking out from the crowd. Above the crowd, you instantly knew it was Cove. Yeah, his hair is pretty recognizable. It's like an anime character. Another cup of water. Sip of water. He hadn't noticed you yet, but he was walking in your direction. He held a couple bags tightly in his hand. Strangely, you couldn't spot your mum or his dad anywhere. Cove, over here. He instantly stopped dead in his tracks. Alert, Cove's head snapped up and his eyes searched the crowd until they landed on you. His whole demeanor brightened. Lol, he looks so happy. Airi. He weaved through passerby awkwardly in an attempt to get through as fast as reasonably possible, nearly stumbling more than once. Oh, this is different. Ellie took a moment for him to arrive. It was undeniable that he was shopping by himself. He stared at him confused. Where's the rest of your group? Cove crossed his arms defiantly, the bags twisting in front of him. Man, now he looks mad. Your mum took my dad and I ended up alone. Why are you by yourself? Ma and Liz abandoned me too. Wait. Wait.
What?
What? I can't believe this happened to both of us. I can't believe you've done this to me. They planned it. They had to, but I don't know why. Are they pranking us? Most likely. I don't know. I wouldn't know either. And you meant it. You couldn't fathom what your mums were up to. Cove shook his head, trying to clear his mind. Well, I guess things are just up to us now. Yeah. So, his gaze wandered off if... Oh god. His gaze wandered off as if one of your parents might simply appear if he kept checking, and you could tell he was still processing the situation. He scratched the back of his head, looking sheepish. Do you want to forget about whatever's happening and go shopping together? Nodded. Yeah, it's better to go shopping with a friend than alone. It felt good knowing you were going to have company for the rest of the trip. Cove seemed to be thinking the same thing because his body seemed to relax then.
Don't worry about it.
Even if we have to make our own fun, we're gonna have a good trip. Cove smiled at you encouragingly. It made you feel... yeah. Having him there was already comforting, and now he also seemed determined to improve your day by any means. That had you looking forward to what was coming next. So, where to first? I don't mind going back the way I came if it's new to you. It's not hard to miss stuff even if I've gone past it. What have you gotten? Cove shuffled his bags around and started pulling them open so you could peek inside each one. You recognized the array of things he picked up around the market. I mostly got typical things I can use pretty easily so far. Nothing super exciting. There were a few red onions, some lemons, and sweet potatoes. Oh, kumara. Among other things that were wrapped up so you couldn't discern what they were. What Cove bought makes sense, but it was far from a complete selection. You glanced around at the nearby stalls. Want to start over there? Cove followed your eyes as you pointed at one of the larger stalls. It was filled with several kinds of staple fruits and vegetables. Yeah, let's go. Hey, more stuff to buy. Save again. Once a few people finished paying around and moved, you and Cove got yourselves directly in front of the shop. There were so many things to pick from. Oh, definitely apples, cucumbers, peaches, onions. What are peppers? As in, like, do they mean like capsicums? I'm assuming that's what they mean. Lettuce, tomatoes, carrots. Just that was everything. Nearly bought everything. I don't like oranges. The shop owner put your selection together and handed it to you in a few bags. Happily, you paid and waited for Cove to make his purchase. Ready to go? Cove grinned, satisfied at his new choices. He had added another bag to his small but growing collection. You nodded. Alright, now let's go. Today, you and Cove wandered the market on the... oh frick. Together, you and Cove wandered the market on the lookout for any stalls that caught your attention. Cove was walking around with a spring in his step, talking about the various meals and I feel bleh. God damn it, not again. Cove was walking around with a spring in his step, talking about the various meal ideas he had in mind. After a while, you had to go greater distance to find something of interest. Several of the stores were selling the same goods. It was only a matter now of which you wanted to buy from. You continued ambling down the path until Cove disappeared suddenly from your peripheral vision, pulling you away from your thoughts. Cove? You spun around, spotting him some steps back. He was standing still. You followed his eyeline past the crowds. Immediately, you knew what grabbed him. Homemade jams and local honey. Ooh, honey. That store was glittering with quaint glass jars stacked high, each encasing gels of varying colors. Cove's eyes were practically sparkling at the sight. His feet automatically began to take him there, likely without being fully aware he made an unexplained detour. When you got closer, you were surprised there were even more varieties than you thought. Yeah, I know, tongue twister. There were even different honeys based on what type of pollen the bees used. Ooh, like Manuka honey. I have no clue what Manuka honey is. Cove's focus seemed torn between a bottle of blackberry jam and one of clover honey. You want some honey? No. Yeah, let's go with this answer. Neutral answer. Cove held up the 2 jars in his hands for you to see. He grinned ear to ear.
Right?
I know, right? He continued to weigh the decision in his mind, actually lifting one higher and dropping the other lower during the process as if they were on a sale. You thought things over for yourself too. Oh, I get to choose honey? Okay, I'm gonna choose honey. Clove. That looks tasty. What the hell's honey butter? Oh, that looks tasty too. Buys everything. Rhubarb jam. That looks. And that was all. You paid, and the shop owner started putting together your order. They carefully packed it in a couple bags with paper. Thank you very much. Amused, you watched Cove give in and just buy both the clover honey and the blackberry jam. He also went all in, getting spring wildflower honey and plum jam too. Oh, I forgot that was a thing. The shop owner thoughtfully wrapped each in brown paper to protect them before putting them away in a bag. He handed the purchase to Cove.
Thank you.
Thank you. You both stepped away from the stall. Cove didn't fail to notice the look you'd been giving him since he agonized over his toast toppers. Hey, this doesn't go bad for a long time, so why not stock up? I could have chosen one if I wanted to. Sure, and I get it. Why do you think I got so many too? Good then. We can agree on something. As you began to stroll, Cove looked up at the sky. He smiled. It was sort of unexpected, considering all of this was technically an errand and unexpected changes often upset him. Yeah, like the time when your parents got divorced and then you had to move into Sunset Bird. I think that's what the place is called. Let me just save again. But he was happy, and Cove liked doing things his kind of what? And Cove liked doing this kind of normal thing. Can't be fun with friends. And you could tell that Cove especially enjoyed doing these kind of things with you. You blushed thinking about how comfortable doing this with Cove felt. What? The neutral answer. I feel like I'm being a tsundere for this. It was going to take a while before you could completely blah blah blah. Oh no, I've already moved on from the mute feeling though. But I don't want to click on this. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Come on. Screen, let it go. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. My mum counts to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh my god. We're so domestic. I'm glad. Yeah, remain silent for this. And now you are feeling lighter. You just wanted to enjoy the moment while it lasted. Later, when you spotted a less crowded area, you took a break from browsing. Cove started rummaging through one of his bags just to check on how his goods were doing. A smile grew on his face as he went on to the next. You chuckled, knowing that Cove wouldn't let anything go to waste. There wasn't a single doubt he was gonna eat it all. Yeah. Oh my god. Simp. Simp. I see, so I've gone up to that level, huh? To be fair, I did draw my reaction. I did draw my reaction. And it was definitely me being on denial. Yes, I probably made a simp for the guy now, so it can't be helped. It can't be helped. It's such a wholesome, like, visual novel. Like, Jesus. Damn it, I kind of wish there were more visual novels like this. Where there are no, like, choices that would lead you to a bad ending, you know? Because, gosh, a lot of the visual novels, at least my very limited novel of the what are they called? Dating simulator? Simulator visual novel type of, like, kinda meh to me. They don't quite interest me. This one did though, oddly enough. You held a hand in front of your face as you sprinted upwards. The sun had moved quite a bit. You'd been at the market for a good while now. Neither your feet nor your arms were sore right now, and Cove looked to be doing fine too, but that was something that could be coming. There was a price to pay for this much shopping, and it wasn't always just in money. Yeah, I agree. Your feet hurt. Yeah, I'll just enjoy sitting. Taking a break for once. There was a breeze that you just there was a breeze you just barely noticed in the air, and you contentedly sighed, happy that the weather was cooperative for the market. It made things even better.
Oh.
Why don't I carry your stuff for a while? I don't mind, and I figure your arms could maybe take a break. Could you give me a pic? No. To be fair, I did buy a lot of stuff in this segment. Yeah, go ahead. Cool. You flashed him your best smile and passed him the bags. Your arms were already feeling better as you watched Cove add your own things onto his own bundle. I really appreciate you doing this. Yeah, thanks, mate. He nodded, well in thought. Cove was still deciding on how he was going to manage them all. He hooked a few on the forearm of his left side and hefted the rest in his hands. With that, you and Cove continued your trip through the market together. Ma and Mum had both texted you during the trip, though only to say that they'd hope you found some good stuff, and that they'd see you later. There were no answers of where they went or why. Oh, this is quite different. You and Cove continued to wind your way through the bustling market, the list of outstanding items steadily shrinking while the bags grew heavier. Eventually, Cove realized that he hadn't checked his own phone in a while. The two of you came to a stop in the nearest alcove, where you'd be out of the steady stream of people pursuing the stalls, and he pulled out his phone. Oh, he looks a bit concerned now. Cove rearranged or maybe it's just neutral. Cove rearranged all the bags he was carrying, freeing a hand so that he could pull out his phone. You watched his eyes dart over the screen as he read the waiting messages. Not important, I can reply to that later. And let me just have another sip of water. He mumbled his verdict under his breath. Then Cove's face scrunched up with confusion.
Huh?
Wait, I've got a message from my dad. Listen to this. Cove, I wasn't part of the plan. I didn't know what was going on when I left with Airi's mum. Where are you? He sent that ages ago. I didn't hear it come in. He sent another one since then. Says he hopes I'm alright and that he's not bothering me. The newest one says everyone's going to the parking lot soon, and we can meet up there. They mean car park, right? He lowered his phone eyes narrowed. The same conclusion that was settling on you had landed on Cove as well. Yep, they've left us both here purposely. Man, he looks mad now. So it was on purpose. The crowds of people passing up by stayed noisy as ever, a sharp contrast to the silence that had fallen over you and Cove. He was rubbing the screen of his phone against his shirt, wiping away dust and debris. He continued scrubbing the screen long after anything could have remained, the action a poor substitute for pushing away the awkwardness of the moment. And he looks uncomfortable. It had all been deliberate. A part of you had still believed there was a misunderstanding. You still— no, I wouldn't do that. I can't believe they've done this. Oh, okay. Cove leaned down, making his eye level with yours. Oh, that's right, I'm short in this. Wait, what? He laid his hands on your— wait, what? He laid his hands on your shoulders, grounding you.
Are you okay?
Are you alright? His voice was gentle. Yeah, really. I mean— huh? Shut up. Shut up, settings. Shut up. Hold up, let me do this for a moment. Go away, settings, I don't care. That's good. Abandoning us without warning wasn't really a cool idea, even if they meant well, which they probably did. Yeah, they meant well. He looked you straight in the eyes. Not making a big deal out of this is nice. I'm not exactly thrilled personally, so if you want to complain to me, I don't have anything to complain though. I'm just shocked. Maybe I am kind of, nothing? Ever? I don't know. His mouth hung open. Then he laughed.
No way.
Come on, you gotta have plenty of stuff to complain about just from the stunts I pulled myself. I mean... true? Let alone what's happened today. You cracked a grin at that despite yourself. He could certainly be a troublemaker when he wanted to be. Yeah, I know, right? But he could also be kind. After a moment, he stepped away from you, face turned. And he's back to being mad. Okay. Slightly mad, maybe just annoyed. He closed his eyes and took a deep breath. His brow creased, then furrowed deeper into a scowl. His arms tightly coiling together. So why did they do something? So they did do something stupid. I knew it. Oh, change of music. His voice had taken on an exaggerated quality, but what truly distinguished from it— oh god. But what truly distinguished it from Cove's typical speaking tone was the abundance of rage. Oh. This is such a chore. Parents are so dumb. Why do people have to go places with family members anyways? I hate them. You got it instantly. It had been years since the boy with the bowl cut had been in town for the summer, but Cove had never forgotten. Ah, Jeremy. That kid. To this day, he continued to unleash his impersonation whenever the moment felt right. Sometimes you wondered if the act had grown more exaggerated over the years, or if the kid if the kid really was always that ridiculous. I think it's a bit of both, if anything. Bit of both. It definitely has grown more exaggerated, but that kid was kind of ridiculous. It was nice to him trying to cheer you up. Cove gave you a lopsided smile, letting the jokes rest for now. Come on, we should probably go and meet up with the group. Yeah, You didn't dally any longer, slipping back into the crowd and making your way towards the entrance of the farmer's market. It didn't take long to reach the parking lot. It didn't take long to reach the parking lot. Your parents, Mr. Holden and Liz, were already waiting there, and they waved at you both as you approached. Your own family seemed to be in pretty good moods in contrast to Mr. Holden. He stared at Cove with open concern as you got closer. Hey bud, hey Airi, how you going? We'd be doing better. Oh god, we'd be doing better if we hadn't been abandoned by God. We'd be doing better if we hadn't been abandoned in a farmer's market by our families. You saw your mums frowning at his response, Ma glancing from Cove to Mum with blinking eyes. Just because Airi is really laid back. Am I that laid back? To be fair, I did put myself as relaxed on the meter. I should have just put nervous. Oh well. Just because Airi is really laid back doesn't mean you can just leave her out of your plans and expect her to go with it every time. Oof. Ma hung her head, ashamed, and Mum had a hand pressed on her cheek. You could tell that they were quickly regretting the scheme.
I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry, Airi. Her words were full of emotion. Mum squeezed Ma's arm. We were trying to make the errand more of a trip, less of a chore. You can tell I'm already starting to tongue twister in this game. I'm already starting to fumble around. Ma nodded. We didn't think you, Cove, and Liz wanted to be stuck trudging around a market with your parents all day. Pardon. Oh god, pardon again. Why do I keep burping? Especially not in the summer. But you're always very thoughtful and don't like to leave your mums behind, so we did ourselves. It was only going to be for the market, not the other stops, I promise. But you're always so... Oh, I've read this. Still, you're right. We could have just told you and let you make your own call. I really am sorry. Neither of us meant to upset you. I'm not really that upset though. If anything, it was quite amusing.
I'm really sorry.
All gas, no brakes. We should have known better, sorry. Ma ditched me too after pulling her urgent potty break stunts. If that helps. I went off to do my own shopping, as it seemed they planned. Sorry, I didn't check back in with you. I was thinking and just tried to blow it off. I wasn't thinking, oh my god. You quietly took in their stories of what happened over to the side. Cove was talking to his dad. Thanks for telling me something was up. Though I feel bad for missing the warning when you sent it.
You're welcome.
It's no trouble, sport. I learned my lesson about making surprise plans. Cove smiled at his dad. Mr. Holden, laughing, clapped Cove on the back. Blech.
Not bad.
Wow, we're really being outplayed today. You realize you hadn't been only the onlookers to the Holden's moment. Your mums were exchanging rueful looks. Liz had her arms crossed over her chest, patiently watching it all unfold. Yes, looks like it. We'd better find some way to catch up.
In that case,
Maybe we can do Airi's chores for the next week. Oh? Mum jabbed Ma on the shoulder. You might be onto something. Airi, how'd you like the sound of that? They looked at you hopefully. Make it 2 weeks now, huh? To be fair, no, I definitely wasn't now. If anything, if anything, I'm actually quite amused. That's wonderful. We'll still do better though. come on. At the very least, we can make sure everyone stays together for the rest of the stops we're making today. You nodded at the suggestion.
Yes.
We won't let you down. We'll be the best sheepdogs ever, guarding the flock and catching any strays. What?
Funny.
We could at least be shepherds. You chuckled, your mood lifting in spite of the bumpy morning. It was going to be alright. You turned to the entrance for the farmer's market for one final glance, pressing it into your memory under this new light. You thought on what you'd picked up at the market and how you were going to enjoy it later. Some things you could only get from local suppliers like this. That was another perk about coming along the market today. Actually, you realized this would be a good time to bring out the fudge you got to share, while everyone was clustered together. Oh yeah, the fudge. Hey, wait, before we go, I got something for everyone. The announcement grabbed everyone's interest, and they looked over at you, each curious about what you had in store. You dug your hand into the bag and pulled out the specially selected treat. I saw this amazing fudge store, so I got a box for us to share. Ooh. Aw, that's so sweet of you. The Holdens were wearing matching grins at the prospect of free dessert, their family resemblance more notable as they mirrored each other's expression. Oh yeah, they do look like it. Like father, like son, I guess. Sweet is the right word for this. Thank you very much, Airi. Yeah, thank you.
You're fantastic.
Great, can't wait to bust it open. We should save it for tonight. We can't properly enjoy a treat when there's still chores to be done. Besides, we don't want to make a mess with it melting in this heat. With it melting in this heat. The others murmured, their agreements and nodded, reaching a consensus. You stowed the box away safely for now. Oh, Cove then sidled up next to you, an eager smile on his face. You could tell from his expression that he was up to something. Thanks again for getting fudge. It was really cool of you. You knew he hadn't just come over just to thank you individually, not with that huge smirk. I got something to share too, but, well, only really with you. I guess I'm not as nice. Oh well, what? You cooked up a scheme of your own? He laughed. Anyway, when I sort of picked something out with you in mind. You held a hand to your chest, staring at Cove as he explained it further. Since your mums decided we should shop separately, I figured I could use the time to get you something, just as a little surprise. Oh, what is it? He reached into one of his bags and retrieved one of the wrapped up objects. You accepted the unexpected present, and he looked on excitedly as you tore off the paper. It was a glass bottle of Coca-Cola of cola soda. You didn't need to taste it to know that it was nice. It would be nice. It was a boutique product. It was heavy in your hands, so the container and smart metal cap reaffirming the quality. Even the label constructed from coarse paper rather than a flimsy sheet of plastic. If Cove smiled more, he will become more handsome. I can agree. Agreed. Lol. Guess we're both something for Cove here. Save again. You were practically bouncing in anticipation as he smiled sweetly at your reaction. It's not a big deal, but I thought you might like it. Yeah, let's go with a simple thank you here. You were touched that Cove wanted to treat you to something nice. Whether you were physically together or not, you were clearly always on his mind and his heart. Liz clapped her hands together in the air of a teacher calling for attention. honk. Since the other adults aren't acting like grown-ups, the rest of us are going to have to pick up the slack. It's time to get back on schedule and continue with the rest of the errands. Playtime is officially over. Ma laughed while Mr. Holden grinned awkwardly. Mum hung her head in an exaggerated display of mock defeat. Kids are tough, but I can't even call them kids anymore. Liz tutted with amusement at her mother. Cove shrugged, staying a neutral observer, but the small smile on his face revealed that he was enjoying the conclusion. Man, Liz has grown. She was kind of an annoying kid back then, but now she's grown into like a really amusing adult. Lol. You laughed, glad that everyone was getting along. That's right, we're all grown-ups now. With that, your trip to the farmer's market was closed. It was time to move on. There were too many of you for one car, so you and Cove had wound up in Mr. Holden's car on the way over. You figured it made sense to do the same for the next leg of the journey. You sat next to Cove in the back. After buckling in, Cove leaned back in his seat, letting himself be cushioned by the headset. Once he shifted a little, he appeared to have found the perfect angle for maximum comfort. He gazed out the window, looking suitably content with the world. You followed suit, hunkering down in your seat, looking out of the window as the car pulled away from the lot. You knew Cove well enough to spot the signs of when he was physically present but mentally elsewhere. The way he would fall silent, staring without saying, the long blinks, all of which he was doing right now as he looked at nothing in particular. You closed your eyes as you pulled up the resolve to speak. You were miles away for a second. What were you thinking about? What? Cove idly rubbed at his face. Honestly, I was just thinking about how nice it is to know you. How nice it is to know you. It, makes life better and everything. Then he turned away from you. His eyes were round and sincere. I see. Not that this is a new revelation, but today was another reminder I'm lucky. I'm fake coughing here. I'm coughing fakely. It's either this one or this one. I don't know what to choose. I'm gonna save again. I don't think it makes much of a difference. I'm going back. You felt content, secure in your relationship with wait, what? I'll just save the drink for later. It feels weird drinking a gift. Drinking something that was given from someone else in front of the person who gave you the drink as a gift. I don't know why. It feels really awkward. It was clearly special. You intended to make sure you gave it the attention it deserved. Yes, give it its full attention. You spent the rest of the day completing the remaining errands all together as a group. It might not have come about under ideal circumstances, but it had provided you with an opportunity to spend time making your own choices. You felt that you'd risen to the challenge. Hey, man, that was fun. I like that segment. That was fun. Talks. Another placid summer was drifting by. Your daydreams were chasing each other. What? Your daydreams were chasing each other, none sticking around long enough to become a firm plan, but you really didn't mind that now. A tapping worked its way into those dreams, focusing more, you realized it was coming from your window. Yeah, it's Cove again. A smile popped on your face as though it had been waiting all day for this moment. And he's not so awkward because it is a gift. Yeah, for me, I'm not entirely sure why. I'm not entirely sure, but I feel really awkward if I like eat in front of someone, especially if I feel like it'd be even more awkward for me if I ate something that was a gift from someone else. You know, I don't know why. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I'm just a really private person in general. Perhaps. Who knows? Heading out to the window, you could see Cove outside. His habit of climbing this way was really a true Covism. He'd rather scale your house than wait the couple extra minutes for you to calm down. Yes, like Romeo. And who was that other guy who's the guy who like tried to climb up Rapunzel's tower by using her hair, like the prince? He stepped across the windowsill with practiced care, brushing his hands down on his pants when he was safe on the floor.
Hey.
Hey, Airi. Hey to you, mate. You think my mums should invest in some bigger windows? Cove laughed at that and took one last look at his exclusive entrance. He hummed with a teasing look on his face. It'd make my life easier, that's for sure. It is quite small. And you are quite tall, mate. Cove's voice came out quietly with a strangely pleased smile on his face. Did something happen? Cove opened his mouth to answer, only to have your phone vibrating cut him off. You both turned to where it rested, a little further up on your bed. It was still face down, so you couldn't tell who was calling. That's okay. Your attention shot back to Cove. He smiled at you awkwardly.
Don't worry about it.
Go check. It could be important. I'll wait. Thanks. You shuffled forward and scooped the little noisemaker in your hand. You flipped it over and checked the caller ID. It's Miranda. Hey, Miranda! Oh, you should answer it. I want to say hi too. With a nod, you accepted the call and accepted the call and set it to speaker. Hi, Miranda. Hi. There was something off about her tone. Cove met your gaze and you saw the same confusion with his expression.
Have you heard from Terry?
Have you heard from Terry at all? Or did you hear about her from Cove? Huh? No, she hasn't called me, but Cove is with me right now. Oh no, looks like some drama's gonna happen. It's pretty normal. I remembered my time in high school. Oh jeez, there was so much drama in my friend group. Hey. Oh, hi Cove. Is that what you were going to say? He shook his head. No, before realizing that it wasn't a good enough answer when one person couldn't actually see it. No, Terry hasn't called me today either. Is something wrong? At that, Miranda couldn't hold herself together any longer. The muffled sobs from the other side of the line were unmistakable. Terry doesn't like me anymore. If she ever did. What? That doesn't sound right. You're probably her best friend out of all of us. Yeah, why do you think that? She sniffled, and there was a pause as you could hear her shift the phone to her other hand. Terry was here the other night, watching movies with me. We were up super late. She realized her parents probably went to bed, so they couldn't pick her up. My mum and dad were definitely asleep then. Dad works early. I tried telling her it was okay just to spend the night and she could text her parents what happened, Terry really didn't want to. You glanced at Cove. He looked equally unsure as you about where this story was going. It didn't sound like a friendship ending situation. I suggested things to make it easier if she was nervous, like she could sleep by herself in my room while I stayed somewhere else. Yeah? And I said we didn't have to sleep at all. We could have kept watching movies until one of our parents woke up. I wouldn't have minded. I know not everyone can do sleepovers, but Terry wouldn't even tell me what was really wrong or what I could do to help. I thought we could tell each other anything. I guess I was wrong. Did she stay in the end? No, we got too loud in the kitchen and my dad woke up. He offered to drive her home when he heard what was wrong. She texted me apologizing for my dad having to do that when she needed rest, but that was it. She isn't talking to me anymore. You could hear every bit of the tears and heartbreak in Miranda's voice. This continued to be a shock for your neighbor, but Cove recovered and spoke gently. I'm really sorry.
I mean...
There's no way Terry wanted to make you feel this bad, or that she's just done with your friendship because of this. Yeah, I really doubt it. Let's just save again. Miranda's sniffling continued, and you'd hope she had plenty of tissues handy. I wouldn't be sure what to say, to be honest. The thoughts in your head were spinning. This wasn't like Terry, at least not that you'd seen. Your guts churned as you wondered who to worry about more. Miranda's voice sounded a little bit more collected after finishing her story, but you knew that the crying was far from being done. I thought she'd had reached out to one of you by now. Maybe she's not talking to anyone. Yeah. Sorry for bothering you and Cove about this. Hey, we're here for you. Right, you can tell us things. Thank you. The shaking voice finally conveyed a little optimism. Pardon. Or at least relief that she wasn't dealing with it entirely on her own.
Is that all right?
Oh my god, why am I swear it's the chicken rice. I'm burping so much right now. If you can hear from her or anything, could you let me know if she's alright? We can. Thanks. Let's talk later, okay? Bye. Bye. Bye-bye. Why did I say in such a happy tone? That didn't really seem like an especially productive point to end the call, though you also weren't sure where to go from there. Looking to Cove, his face seemed as lost as yours. With no alternative, you hung up and put your phone back on your bed. Cove crossed his arms, a frown creasing his face. He began to pace the length of your room, clearly trying to put the pieces together in his head in a way that made sense. Biting the inside of your cheek, you stared at the ground. Hearing Miranda so distraught like that was not easy. And what about Terry? The uncertainty was tearing you up as well. Oh shoot. The empty state of your head before learning this was not helping you now. You couldn't put the two thoughts together. Flopping the back of the bed, you stared into space. We should probably try calling Terry. Cove's voice managed to drag you back to some grounding. He stopped pacing, but you still saw a perturbed look on his face. Yeah, I'm worried about her too. You bounced out and moved to his side, ready to act on whatever plan you two could come up with. Cove started with the easiest thing. He pulled out his phone and called Terry. Cove let it ring and ring and ring and ring. Terry didn't answer. There wasn't even an option to leave a voice message. Your shoulders slumped, and Cove looked even more troubled. If that was possible, he turned to you as if for some lifeline. Could you try calling? I'm gonna send a text, just like, hey, I was trying to reach you, call me or something. Yeah, You took your phone once more. Unfortunately, another set of interminable rings. The line went dead. No answer, no voicemail. Oh man, he's not looking so great right now. Hanging up, you saw Cove visibly deflate. He rubbed his arm, eyes distant, openly struggling with the whole affair. Save again. I don't like this at all. They're fighting. We barely know anything. And we're supposed to just wait and see? Despite it only being a minute since he texted Terry, Cove checked his phone again. He was desperate for progress, for something, and you frowned as you watched him. Let's just say silence. There was nothing you could think to say. All you could do now was hope that Terry was alright. It was up to her to reach back out now. Glancing at your phone in vain, you considered sending a text message too, if that would even help. This was making you feel all twisted up. You could see the same sort of discomfort on Cove's face. There was some counseling in that. There was something consoling in that, at least. Words drifted from his mouth like a feeble breeze. It'll be fine. It's gonna be okay. Yeah. You could hear it in both of your voices, how much you wanted to give and receive reassurance. You tried to believe the sentiments, weak as they were. What do we even say if we do hear from one of them? His pacing resumed as he attempted to answer his own question. We should probably tell them to talk to each other instead of only us, maybe. He slowly came to another halt, like a gear winding down. Yeah, that's a good idea. We need to find out what the hell what happened with Terry. Nothing could be done until you knew what she had thought of this. That much was certain. Cove nodded slightly in agreement. For several minutes you both remained there in silence, drowning in your thoughts. Eventually, Cove turned around. Let's just save again. Jesus Christ, my throat. I'm gonna text Terry that we already know what's going on. Maybe she'll have an easier time talking to us because she won't have to pretend or explain. With the two of you on the same page, he stilled his gaze to prepare for taking this next step. Cove's fingers worked furiously yet carefully. He was giving his full attention to his words. You sided up next to him and looked, trying to watch what he was writing. Cove rapidly typed down, "Hey, Airi and I really want to talk to you. Miranda told us what happened. Please reply back, yes please." And sent. It was done. We'll just have to see what happens now. Yeah, me too. From just his face, you could tell that wasn't going to do much for him. He was going to be stuck thinking about this until Terry replied. A small noise escaped from his lips. All the frustration at the situation crumbled away from his face, and he spoke softly. "Thanks, Airi. I'm glad it's not just me with all this happening." Cove took one last look at his phone and then put it away. His effort at a smile was meager, but earnest.
It's okay.
We can just forget about it for a while. Terry will talk to us when she wants to. Yeah. There was a part of you that worried that it wouldn't be long before Cove pulled out his phone again. Let me just have another sip of water. But you were relieved that he had put it away. The last thing you wanted was to fight with him, especially over this. Taking a deep breath in And now you were thankful for the progress of some sorts. Let's just say this here. Okay. A silence stretched on in what felt like hours, but it likely wasn't that long before there was a knock at your bedroom door, and Mum peeked in. Mum just wanted to check in on you. Oh, Cove, when did you get here? A few minutes ago? Through the window? When she saw you were there, she opened the door all the way. Ma was standing there as well. She slipped past her wife to come inside your space. What's going on? We're okay. It's just Miranda called earlier. She and Terry were fighting, but none of us knew what was going on with Terry. Your parents exchanged a meaningful look, though its meaning was lost on you.
I am so sorry.
That's too bad. I'm sorry there's trouble with your friends, sweetie. With your friends? Sweetie, is there anything we can do to help? Out of the corner of your eye, you saw Cove rub his arm awkwardly, unable to add anything. No, we're just waiting to see if Terry calls or texts, or if Miranda does. Well, we can at least help you take your mind off of things while you're waiting.
Yeah.
Another great idea. Lani, we can get the whole gang together for some quality time. Mum gave you a soft smile and added, This'll be good, especially since it might make up for what happened at the farmer's market. Oh, they still remembered what happened at the farmer's market. Yes, it'll be wonderful. I'll go see what Lizzie is up to right now. Excited, she fluttered a few steps away, and then stopped. She pivoted on her heels and raised a single finger, flashing a big smile at Cove.
It's no trouble.
And of course, Cliff will be welcome too. Knowing your family was always there for you, that couldn't be underestimated. In fact, it meant everything to you that your mums cared so much. I really appreciate this. Thank you. Yeah, thanks. That's nice of you.
You're welcome.
You're both very welcome. Don't sweat it, not so kiddos. Kiddos, leave things to us. Just relax and we'll call you when it's all together. You nodded. Your mums dispersed for now, springing into action for their impromptu get-together. You flopped down your bed, feeling like you could sink into it and disappear. Cove, meanwhile, took a spot on a chair off to the side. You sighed at the same time, and Cove's mouth pulled into a bent smile at that. He gave his phone another quick check and his eyes furrowed. Still nothing? Yep, this is crap, huh? Yep. Cove chewed the inside of his cheek, as if to mimic the stress that was clearly eating away at him. Cove, what's wrong? What's wrong? What's really wrong? One disagreement doesn't make you act like this. Let's just save here. That got a pointed pause in his movement. Cove was carefully trying to put his thoughts together and spoke in a fragile voice. When people you care about, when they're unhappy with each other, there's nothing you can do. At least when you're in a fight yourself, you can have some responsibility, some control over it all. I wish it didn't have to happen, but that isn't possible, so oh well, I guess. His attempt at giving a nonchalant shrug after that was pitiable. Yeah, I can't be helped. I know. He replied like he could barely muster the strength to speak. Well, we just have to focus on the things we can impact, or at least try. You turned to Cove, hoping your eyebrows conveyed the message you were feeling better than your words. His gentle nod told him that they did. There was a question you had to ask. Is it because of what happened with your parents? Cove ran a hand through his hair, a strained smile spreading across his lips. For him, this pain struck close to his heart. Just as quickly as it had come, his smile was gone, lost amidst his faraway gaze. Yeah, you got it. It's like my parents. Despite knowing him for so many years, Cove never spoken of his years before he moved to Sunset Bird. Before his parents separated in any detail. He whispered his thoughts distantly, almost unconcerned with whether you could hear him or not. They used to fight all the time. I think they got along when I was a baby. I mean, they had to have when they want to be each other at some point. But at some point. But when I was old enough to remember anything, it was already bad. Now I can relate to him in some capacity here. I can relate to him in that capacity. Divorced parents, and they eventually, when you're younger, you think they love each other, but as you grow older, you start to notice all the arguments, and then you realize they don't like each other all that much anymore. Clearly, they didn't love each other as much as they used to. Pretty sad thing to think about, but it's life. It's life. Doesn't go the way that you expected. Yeah. Trying to read stuff like this is hard for me. There was always something wrong, and I could never help. I just wanted them to be happy. I think the problem is for me is that I keep running out of breath, and I keep phrasing it some parts wrong. And I tend to speak faster than usual. I don't know why. I should read a bit slower. You tried to imagine your mom's breaking up, and the very idea scared you, but Cove had endured that for real. I'm sorry, Airi.
Don't worry about it.
That's okay. Despite the revelation, Cove gazed reassuringly at you. It's not like that anymore. Things are so different now, and I don't even really think about it. Well, at least his parents still get along even after the divorce. Mine, no. Let's just say they didn't get along even after that divorce. Oof. Oh well. Some do, some don't. That's just life. You just have to get used to it anyways. Again, the sorrow reasserted itself. When he continued, you could barely hear him. Though, I guess it's pretty obvious I haven't forgotten either. Yep. Today clearly didn't go the way either of you wanted, but you had each other. Cove's body relaxed in front of you, and his expression told you he felt the same way. Cove's stare deepened, and then he got up. His smile widened as he crossed the room and sat down next to you. He wanted it to be close. There was no stopping the blush on your face. Wait, what? What? Oh, okay, just 3 dots. Today was a lot, huh? Yeah, it was. You leaned against it. No, that's too affectionate. After everything today, you felt a sense of relief. The two of you still had one another. No matter what happens, we can make it work. His mouth pulled into a bent smile at that. You chuckled.
Me too.
I think so too. And for a while, you stayed like that. A quiet fell between you, and the sun fell with it. The warming calm ended when Cove gasped sharply. You spun half, expecting it to find him nursing an injury, but instead you found him staring straight ahead. What?
Oh my god.
It's Terry! Terry has answered back. I think my phone just vibrated. Check it out. Right. He patted his pockets, fumbling in his panic, and yanked the phone out. The force of the action nearly catapulted the device out of his grip entirely, but he caught it just in time. His eyes honed in on the screen. It's Terry, thank God. She says she's sorry. He looked back at you, eyes wide as his nerves started to fray once more. What should I say? Ooh. Give it a second, I need to think. Sorry. Cove's intense stare went to the small message. His mouth and brow pinched with remorse. He hadn't meant to put his stress onto you. His thumb trembled as it hovered over the screen. Then Cove's phone buzzed further. Ah, it's Terry again. She's talking to us. Oh, that's a relief. He asked about what Miranda said, but wait. Oh, wait. She asked about what Miranda said, but wait. You leaned in, watching the conversation unfold on Cove's screen.
Right.
She's gonna actually call. Cove held his breath as he waited. Though he was good with people, he'd never been at ease managing conflict. His phone rang out. Cove jammed the answer button. He switched the phone into speaker mode, allowing you to participate in the conversation. But despite his immediate reaction, his voice lacked the same resolve as he spoke. Hey. It was tentative, a white flag fluttering in the wind. Airi's here too. Hi, we've been worried about you.
Hey.
Hey, buddies. Terry's voice was barely recognizable without her usual quick patter and energy.
Are you okay?
Are things okay? Probably not. Let's just save again. Do. Cove tensed, his free hand coiling into an anxious fist. Can you talk to us about what happened? Don't you know already? Miranda explained some of it, but it doesn't make sense to us. You heard Terry sigh over the phone as she unburdened herself. Pretty much, I was at Randy's house. We decided to watch some movies. She super liked that I've never seen before. Turns out, there's a lot of those. We watched one, then another, and another. We were having so much fun. Each time one finished, she had another one to share with me. I didn't really think about the time. I only wanted to say yes to Randy and watch her movies. She spoke wistfully, but her words were full of affection. It was Randy, you know. I wasn't thinking about my schedule or what time it was. I get it. Then I finally saw the time and oh no, it was way too late. I already knew I couldn't stay. She took a deep breath, her voice becoming softer when she resumed talking. I was so stressed out. I just couldn't deal with it. Miranda wanted to help. She kept coming up with ways to make it better and trying to figure out why I was so upset and stuff. I was trying to answer her questions, but there were so many, but I couldn't really answer all of them. I didn't even know why some of her ideas didn't work with me. It made my head ache, and I still had the first problem, and Randy there, trying to help, blasting all these questions and suggestions at me faster than I could even think. She gulped, audibly sniffing. I got frustrated and told her to just leave me alone, but when she wanted to talk about why I wanted that, and we started having a fight in the kitchen, it woke Randy's dad up. We told him about how I wanted to go home, but my parents couldn't get me, so Mr. Eckert offered to do it. That's nice of him. Let's just save here again. Terry groaned. I know! I accepted because I definitely couldn't stay there, not after a racket and turning it into a big deal. But I feel awful and embarrassed. Why did I yell at Randy and hurt her feelings? And I made her dad lose sleep by waking him up and having to drive me home. What do you say to that? I have no idea. I don't know where to start, and I don't want to make it worse by saying the wrong things and fighting again. So, I'm not talking. Terry, Randy isn't mad at you. You didn't want to stay or... what? Terry, Randy isn't mad that you didn't want to stay or that you fought. She just wants to feel like you can talk to her. I mean, you can say whatever you want. She'll listen. Not talking to her at all is pretty much the only wrong way to go about it. Yeah, I can agree with you with that. Then again, I'd be like Terry if something like that if I did the same thing, I'd probably just not talk at all. Terry lamented mournfully on the other end of the line, but had a point. Unless she faced Miranda again, there would be no resolution. You looked at Cove, hunched over the phone, staring pensively into it and searching for a solution. Hold up, let me just do this for a moment. Okay. This couldn't be solved with the other party missing, but what if you brought them in? Your phone was still free. Just save again. What if we called Miranda? That way you could talk to her but wouldn't have to do it alone. Cove brightened up, the concerned furrow in his brow which had taken root when Miranda first called eased.
Well,
that could work. Terry, are you up for it? She made a noise that wasn't a word but nevertheless conveyed her hesitation and worry. But she brought it to a close with a decisive exhalation, as if pushing all negative thoughts from her body. Alright, I'll do it. Cove nodded. Now that you'd received approval from everyone, you pulled out your phone and called Miranda. You set it to speaker and waited for her to pick up. Luckily, she did.
Hi.
Hi, Airi. Her voice was still distant, as if her thoughts were elsewhere, but it was loud enough for your needs. Hi, you're on speaker. Terry's on speaker too, on Cove's phone. Oh. She paused while she digested the information. You watched the phone screen, hoping that she wouldn't hang up as a result.
Really?
Oh, really? Yep, it's really me. Can you hear my voice all the way from your house to theirs and then mine? I can. Pardon. You and Cove exchanged looks, waiting for the wall between them to break, and wondering who would be the one to do it. As the quiet dragged on, you caught Cove chewing his cheek. He must have weighed up the same question as you, whether to encourage the conversation along or leave Miranda and Terry resolve it themselves. The answer came in the form of one sniff, followed by another from Cove's phone. Sorry, Randy. I hope you still like me. What? You're the one acting as if you didn't like me. The tone was defensive, no doubt a result from her wounds from last night still being raw.
What?
No way! Everyone likes Randy. You're wonderful. Your eyes met Cove. His phone was tilted towards you, capturing the call indirectly. You moved your phone closer to his, hoping that the signal was strong enough to convey every nuance of the tone. Cove did likewise, bringing his cell right next to yours, even bumping against it as if he shifted his grip. I don't know what to say. That's the only reason why I wouldn't talk to you. If I had known the answer, I would have told you right away. Miranda murmured on the other end of the line. You didn't want to stay. Anything I tried to do bothered you, and you could have told me you didn't know. Yeah, I think I was angry at myself. I did a dumb thing and I didn't want help with it. I wanted to be mad and just deal with it myself. It made me keep doing dumb things. Oh. When she spoke again, her voice was quiet, as tender and vulnerable as the words.
I'm sorry.
Staying up late, watching stuff was all my fault. I had to find a way to fix it. That's what I thought anyways. But I should have given you space. I'm sorry for being so pushy and sensitive. Hardly. Miranda Eckert having a flaw? I never heard such a crazy thing. Hold on, let me just save again. There we go. Miranda let out a ghost of a giggle. Cove cleared his throat. Maybe we should call each other now? Sorry.
Sure.
Can do. Thanks for giving me the kick in the butt to do this already. Mandy, I'm gonna have to call you now. Bye, Airi. Bye, Cove. Well, at least that's resolved. Clap, clap. Give yourselves a pat on the back, guys. She hung up after squeezing in another quick bye, though not giving you or Cove room to respond in kind. Miranda laughed, the noise tinkling gently like wind chimes in a summer breeze.
You're really nice.
Thank you for listening and helping. I'm gonna hang up now so I can answer Terry's call. Bye. Bye, and good luck. Bye, talk to you soon. Miranda hung up, still chuckling softly as your call ended. The room felt emptier without the other voices in it. Cove expelled a sigh that crashed through the newly fallen silence. He dropped his arms to his side, letting his head hang down like a puppet at rest. Thank God. Yep. Cove scratched his face, expression cloudy. I think I need to find better ways for dealing with conflict because that was awful. I'm not gonna comment. I think we did pretty okay. Taking required energy you wanted to conserve after the earlier talking required energy you wanted to conserve after the earlier tension. Cove meekly smiled as he rubbed his eyes, weariness creeping over him, and mumbled his next word. We can talk about it another day. Agreed. Conflict resolution methods? Huh? Oh no, forget it. Your eyes rose and then a light bulb went off in your head. Before Miranda called, didn't you say there was something you wanted to say? Cove's original visit had been thrown off so off-kiltered that it was a struggle to wind your memory back to when he first turned up. I agreed. I nearly forgot about that. Now you did, though you remember that he had been perky when he arrived in the afternoon. Was it good news? Cove brushed his hands against his now folded arms shyly. Well, yeah, maybe. I'm not exactly sure it counts as news or even good. It's just is what it is. I'm happy about it though. You were curious, but you didn't want to push Cove if he didn't want to speak about it. And you don't have to say anything. But if it makes you feel good, I think it is good news. Cove chuckled awkwardly, a hand creeping up to ruffle the hair on the back of his head. It's fine. If you want to hear, I can tell you. He shifted on his feet, as if a different posture might give him the support he needed for the conversation. Oh! I didn't want to make it a big deal, but I I just know what my sexuality is now. We're having one of these talks. Okay. Oh! A real subject changed, huh? Yeah, I agree. He chuckled. True, it was unexpected, but you were excited that Cove had come to understand himself more, and glad that he wanted to share that with you. Well, that's great. Tell me more. Save again. Save. Save. Cove drew a breath, straightening up. I'm demisexual, so you know, most of the time I don't really get those kinds of feelings, physical wants and stuff. It's only in some situations when I'm already really emotionally and romantically connected to someone that I start to think about anything sexual, and it's only with them. Ah, naruhodo. I hadn't heard the term until pretty recently, and it just made a lot of sense once I knew what it meant. I had a word that fit how I felt.
Yeah.
Well, that's nice. Good for you. Another sip of water. And I'm pan-romantic, because I've never held preference for a specific gender or anything. So, yeah. Pan-romantic. Is that another way to say pansexual? I'm assuming that's another way to say pansexual. Let's save that. Yes, we do support this. I don't know why I said that. I obviously do support this. That makes sense. Cove looked down at the floor, being so open and direct about a matter that personal, which you were sure he spent a long time trying to figure out, seemed to be kind of weird for him. Despite that, there was a small proud face on it. Oh my god, not again. Despite that, there was a small proud smile on his face. Pardon again. And when he looked up again, his gaze was steadfast. All this talk of Cove's sexuality made you reflect about your own. Yeah. Cove had known for years. It was heartwarming that he had reached a point where he felt simply capable of discussing his own. He felt even closer. You could tell that Cove felt like it had been an emotionally draining day that had now come to a close, everything wrapped up neatly with a bow on top. I can agree with that. You had some good talks with your friends with your friends and with each other. A lot had been brought out into the light, and you'd come out of it not only knowing each other better, but yourself too. But there was still something that Cove didn't know, and something that had gnawed you as many times over the years. You never told Cove about how you first met his dad. Oh yeah, the $20 bill deal. The $20 deal. To be his friend. To be his Tomodachi. to be his... No, okay. You always held it back from him, unsure of how he would take the revelation. His dad seemed to have done the same, as Cove didn't seem to have heard of it from Mr. Holden either. Maybe someday, but today is not the day. There's already too much drama in one day, and we don't need any more. It's just... The day had been sufficiently dramatic without introducing the oldest skeleton in your closet. It could wait until another time. Well said. Hey, we should probably head downstairs soon, if your mums are still waiting, wanting everyone to get together. Yeah, that's right. With a renewed spring in your step, you led the way out of your room. You got downstairs to find the others already assembled and waiting.
Hi.
Can I just say, Liz is really pretty. Liz is really pretty. Hello. Hey. Good to see you both. Hey, it's Mr. Holden. Hi, we were trying to corral everyone in a group, but the two of you were already upstairs this whole time. Hey Dad, we had some stuff to talk about. Yeah, but we made it, so what's the plan? How about cards? The murmur of interest from the others. Ooh, card games. Are we playing Old Maid or Cheat? Cheat is very fun. Yeah, that's fine with me. Most of the group was eager to play, but Mr. Holden was demurring.
Nah.
I think I'll sit this one out. Where's the fun in that? Join in. Yes, and I know there's a lot of people, but we can make it work. Mr. Holden shrunk into himself, embarrassed by their attention. Ah, I see, like son, like father. Dad, you love playing cards. We do it at our house all the time. Yeah, remember that time I played over there? That was a serious games. We made bets with real money and everything. Ah yes, that we did indeed. Dad? Mr. Holden broke under the combined force of everyone's attention. Cove and Airi, you're adults now. You deserve to know the truth. I used to throw the card games so you could win. I put up a good fight, but I always made sure to lose a lot more rounds than I won. He toyed with the ends of his ponytail, clearly distressed at revealing this bit of info. He did have a history of bad surprises, so that have been why. Yeah. I know people want to be taken seriously and fake wins don't mean as much, but I couldn't help myself. It's so much better when everyone else got the chance to be victorious. Kara knew and went along with it. Cove laughed in disbelief at this was the thing his dad stressed about, hiding after all the other stunts he pulled over the years. This isn't the worst stunt, I think. I don't know what other stunts he pulled though. Maybe that surprise mum visit in step 2. So what? Lots of parents do that. I hadn't guessed it, sure, though looking back it makes sense. That's right, what's the big deal, Cliff? You can finally take the kids' gloves off and give them a run for their money. Cove smiled coyly, his gaze lowering. I'm not sure that's a good idea.
Why?
And why not? He waved his hands expansively, the moments fluid and vague. I'm something of a card shark. I used to make lots of fast cash-off games. Casual players don't have a shot unless it's a game of pure luck. A what now? What? I didn't quite understand that, but I'm assuming he was a pro at card games and everything back then. Cove's jaw hung open, his wide eyes fixed on his father. Really? There was a touch of amazement, even admiration, nestled among the shock. The other members of the Briggs family exchanged looks, ranging from Liz's disbelief to Mum's intrigue, with Ma somewhere in the middle between the two. You can't simply make a claim like that and expect us to go with it. Let's see you back up, Shark Man. Shark Man. Mr. Holden gave her a crooked smile, his demureness quickly being replaced with the confidence of someone very skilled or very misguided. You do look confident here. You sure about that? Definitely. We gotta see the so-called non-casual player in action. Well, I might be able, though who knows, I might have gotten rusty. His coyness continued to roll the gang up, and he was getting the kick out of it now.
Please?
Come on, please.
Alright.
Alright, I can dust off the old tricks. Great. Cove beamed at his father, while Mum clapped Mr. Holden on the back. Liz darted off to get a deck of cards while the rest of you settled in for the game. Hands were dealt. Mr. Holden wasted no time providing his words true, wiping the floor with all of you. You played several rounds, even switching games, but none of them were a match for him. Damn, he must be real good. That was how the alliance came to be forged. The rest of you joined forces against Mr. Holden, only just trying to increase the odds of beating him. When your combined efforts, you pulled out a few victories, yet it was still a challenge. He was clearly a professional. Yeah, that is true. If these were his skills now, dusty with disuse, you couldn't even imagine with what a deadly opponent he had been in the past. Despite that, you still had won. Working cooperatively actually fostered a sense of camaraderie with the others. Mr. Holden didn't appear fazed by this strategy. You actually wondered whether the increased challenge made it more interesting for him. Probably. You spent the rest of the afternoon together, with your family and the Holdens having fun. It was an interesting evening for sure, with many discoveries for everyone. Let me just hold up. Just have another sip of water. It was freeing, yet ultimately you felt more tired what? Tired? Is that supposed to say tired? You felt more tired together than you had been before. What the? Oh, I think I skipped. Hold up. Oh, okay. Okay, that was all. Save again. 2 more to go, got everyone. Wait, what? Oh, charity. Okay, it says charity. Sun beamed in through your window, warming your skin as you laid comfortably on your bed. With your arm hovering in the air, you held your phone above your face, squinting against the sun to read the latest text Cove has sent through. He was out with the group he volunteered with, Orca, doing some kind of activity. They'd been at it since early that morning, and he'd been keeping you updated by Messenger. Messenger? I use Messenger. Let me just save again. The latest one explained how he just finished cleaning up the bench, and was now heading over to man a stall on the shopping street to sell tickets for a fundraising dinner. Yes, hydration is good, especially for games like these. My throat is already like beginning to it's like starting to get a bit strained now from talking this much, you know. Oh my lord, it's not a bad thing though. Before then he wanted to call, you didn't mind that, and replied saying as much. As you waited for it to come in, you let out a big breath, thinking of the formal dinner that Orca organized. Being a completely fundraising focused event for large donors, it was crucial for organization projects in the year to come. That's why Cove had been so busy lately. All you had heard about so far was that it was a prim and proper occasion, with speeches and everything. Oh. And with the notification popped up, incoming call, you picked up immediately. Hello?
Sorry.
Hey Airi, sorry, I don't have a lot of time to talk, but this was my chance, so and for a really good cause. Yes, it is for a good cause. It's nothing really. I enjoy the work, and it feels good to help out. Do you want to come by to see me? At the booth, I mean? Sure, why not? Okay, cool. See you soon. It's just down on the shopping street. You'll see it. Alright, bye. See ya. Man, him and Haru would go... You know Free, Haru from Free? Him and Cove would go so well, would be great friends. Why? Because they're both really into water. Well, I think Haru's just really into swimming or something. I don't know. I don't remember. I haven't watched Free in a good while. I haven't even watched like the new movies or seasons. I've only seen like both season 1 and season 2 at the time, when it was still only on season 1 and 2. After the temporary goodbyes, you tucked your phone away and pushed yourself up from your bed. Heading downstairs, you found Ma lounging in the living room, seated on the couch with her legs tucked up and a magazine in her lap. She looked up to the sound of your footsteps, giving you a smile. Hey, sweetie, what are you up to? Cove just finished his first Orca activity. He's going to the shopping street to sell tickets for their fundraising dinner. Hope I'm gonna meet him there.
That's fantastic.
Good idea. That sounds wonderful. She nodded happily, and then her face fell a little as she put her magazine to the side. I'm still sad your mum and I can't make it to the dinner that night. She seemed honestly disappointed, but her face brightened again when she looked at you next. You'll be going, right? I can buy a ticket for you if you don't have enough. What's the price? Thanks, but Cove hasn't mentioned how much it is. I'll check it out when I'm there.
Okie dokie.
Perfect. Let me know how it goes. You nodded. You agreed with a nod, walking backwards towards the door. Thanks, sweetie. Have a good walk, and tell Cove I said hello. I will. Bye, Ma. Strolling out the front door, you shut it behind you and let out a deep breath. You had known that the event was coming up, and you'd most likely be going to support Cove, but you hadn't thought but you hadn't thought about it too much before now. With a small nod to yourself about everything you have to do, you began to walk to the shopping street. You hit the shopping street and casually walked along beneath the afternoon rays, window shopping and browsing through the various stores that were set up around the place. It didn't take long until you spot Cove's bright seafoam hair behind a counter and the banner advertising the fundraising event. He caught your eye as you headed over and stood from his seat with a smile, pleased to see you arrive. Raising a hand from the clipboard he held, he gave you a wide wave in greeting, inviting you to approach the counter. Hey! You came right up to the front of the booth, inspecting the little plush sea animals that decorated it, before turning your smile on Cove. Airi! Hey, good to see ya. Hey, you made it. Have you settled in and everything? He nodded, taking a quick survey of the simple booth. I appreciate getting to take a seat for a while. The beach was great, but it's nice to be off my feet for 5 seconds. He chuckled. You were glad to see that despite all the work he'd been doing, he was in high spirits. He seemed to really be enjoying working with the charity. So, how much are the tickets for the event? Save again. He hesitated for a moment, rubbing at the back of his neck awkwardly. They're $150. I only found it. Jesus, that's expensive. Good lord. Man, I remember back in high school, we had like there was always like the prom. I think it's called prom. It's like some equivalent of prom. Basically, oh god, they were like $90. Jeez. Man, then that was expensive. I was gonna go to the year 13 one, but then I saw the price. I was like, yeah, nah, I'm not gonna go to the year 13. I'm not gonna go. No thanks. I think we called it a ball. No, I think it was called a ball rather than a prom, but still, jeez. $90 for the ball? No, thank you. Then again, I wasn't. Even if I did have the money to pay that, I wouldn't be too excited to go there anyways. I'm just not into that sort of stuff. Well, unless someone invited me to go there, I guess. No, that's pretty high. Oh, are all the tickets the same price? Yep, they are. Cove shrugged, glancing down at his clipboard as he answered. It's definitely not something I would normally be at, but it seems to fit the type of people who are into that kind of thing. Most people that have bought the tickets wrote a check for it. I've never written a check for anything before. You laughed briefly and shook your head at him. Upon seeing the look on your face, he trailed off and cleared his throat softly. A couple of people did have cash though, but yeah, that's the answer to your question. I double. Still. $90? It might have been a bit more than $90, but it was somewhere around that price from the last time I remembered in high school. It's been a while. I've like graduated since then, but still. Yeah, I know, it's so expensive, like jeez. Jeez, I can't believe I actually wanted to go there. Then again, even if I did have the money. Oh no, it's actually 90. Did I miss... Pardon. Did I missay that as 19? 90, like $90. 90, not 19. But still, I'd really like for you to be there. I'll get you a ticket so you wouldn't have to worry about that. You just have to come. You will? Group members get to bring a guest? No, we only get entry for ourselves. And it's only people who volunteer a certain number of hours, or if they're actually a part of the team running it. So basically, I'm gonna buy it for you. Yeah, it's too expensive of a gift. Come on. Come on, please let me get it. Come on, please let me get it for you. You're still supposed to be my guest. I want to donate anyways. This is a chance to do it. Alright, if you're sure. To be fair, I wouldn't have the budget to split anyways. He nodded, a smile slowly breaking across his face at your acceptance. What matters to me is that you're there. He glanced over his shoulder quickly, before turning back to you, his lips tilting mischievously at the corners. Yeah, okay, I said 90.
Well,
I'm not supposed to, but if you want to sit behind the counter and keep me company, well, if you want, you can sit behind the counter and keep me company while I sell tickets. Heck yeah. Yeah, let's go with that. You didn't have anything else planned for the afternoon, so it could be fun to hang out. The afternoon passed in a blur, with you and Cove laughing and chatting between ticket sales. As the time drifted on and the sun sank lower in the sky, 6 p.m. finally rolled around, and you helped him to get everything packed up and call it a day. As you headed back home together, you thought of the fundraising dinner and how close it was now. Oh shoot, there was still plenty to do before the big night arrived. Save again. The days continued on in a normal flow, and long before the night of the Orca fundraising dinner upon you. It was very early evening, and you were in your room getting ready as the minutes ticked closer and closer towards the time you needed to leave. It was kind of peaceful not having anyone else around to rush you. You knew you had to get going before it was too late, but at least this way you could hear yourself think. The event had strict guidelines, and you wouldn't let in unless you were dressed to code. That meant having to find a truly professional outfit, but one that you were also happy with. Let's go with that. There were a couple of outfits that didn't get nearly as much use as you would have liked, and now was the time to show them off. With a smile, you picked your way through the items, your excitement shining bright. Taking a deep breath to refocus yourself, you looked over the options one last time. It was time to decide an outfit and quick. Dress, let's go with the dress, simple. You sat in front of your mirror, you quietly assessed your outfit. It needed a little something extra to finish it all off. I need a bracelet. Rummaging through the rest of your wardrobe, you picked out what you needed to complete your outfit. Bracelet. You slipped a bracelet around your wrist and made sure it was sitting there properly. Not a ring. Got that. You had to quickly remove your shoes to slip on the anklet before Yeah, that might be everything. Save that. And with that, no makeup. I'm not too into makeup. While you were dressed, it had all come together. Ah, yeah, it's all coming together. Cove sent through a text saying he was heading to the car and would see you in a bit. You carefully headed down the stairs and into the living room, where your moms were waiting for your appearance. As you entered, they both stood from the couch and came over to you, smiling broadly. You look so wonderful, Airi.
Nice.
And very mature too. Do I though? Nice word, kid. Work, kid. They continued to coo and fuss over you until you managed to brush them off. Ma took Mum by the arm and held her close, the two of them admiring you proudly. Aww. It felt a little strange to have everyone's attention on you, and you liked it, but you liked it nonetheless. Liz smiled at you from where she stood, her expression soft. Ma came in and to give you one last hug. Before you knew it, another pair of arms wrapped around you, and then a third. Group hug! Both Mum and Liz giggled as they hugged you tight. We hope you have so much fun tonight,
Have fun.
and we won't wait up for you. Stay out as long as you need. You're both old enough now. Indeed. I'm now 18 years old. I mean, in this game, the MC is supposed to be 18. With a last wave goodbye, you left your family and approached the front door. It was time. Stepping out into the night, you closed the door behind you gently and looked across the street. Cove was standing there in the street. His eyes met yours immediately, as if it had been he had been watching your house for the moment you would come out. He smiled bashfully. Hey, Airi. Hey, I hope you're ready to do this. You took the chance to check over his outfit as he walked across the way to meet you. It was formal for sure, though it didn't feel overly posh. It made sense for him and was honestly a sight for sore eyes, huh? People's always beautiful to Well, calling me out like that, I guess. He looked over you. He looked you over as well. A subtle blush creeping over his face as he quickly cleared his throat and averted his gaze. You. He seemed to be struggling to find something to say, rubbing the exposed part of his arms awkwardly. Thank you for coming with me, and for dressing really nicely for this. Your outfit, it's good. Better than good, really. Great, I guess? Something else? So yeah, awkward as usual. His gaze traveled downwards to take in your full form, and he suddenly froze, his eyes widening at the very bottom of it. You were confused by the reaction. Was it your shoes or... He gave you no answers, simply turning his very red face away from you. Away from you. You wished you knew what had done it, but you could be grateful for at least something about your look had. What? Whoa, that's a bit on the nose. To be honest, if someone actually complimented over my looks, I'd be pretty weirded out. It was one thing for your family to compliment the way you looked, as they had been doing it all your life. It felt nice to hear someone else say it for a change. Then he shook his head, glanced back towards the garage, and throwing a thumb over his shoulders spoke.
Come on.
We should probably get going. We wouldn't want to be late for such a grown-up event, right? Yeah, let's go. Yeah. To the fundraising ball thingy we go. You headed over to Cove's car together, hopping in and strapping on your seatbelts. You were on your way. The event was being held at a place you had never been to before. You bought the location on your phone to help Cove navigate there. It took some time to find the right address, and once there you were met with the task of finding a parking spot.